I'm continuing to read some extracts from Sandy Millar's book, All I Want Is You. Today I'm going to be reading God's Way and God's Ministry. God's Way. Festo Kivingari, the Ugandan bishop, used to tell a story about when he'd been going to speak to thousands of people at a rally in Kampala. He was a tiny bit late, and as he left he spoke to his wife in some way which he deeply regretted. But he was too late to put it right, and he had to go. His car was waiting for him, and as he sunk back into the seat he said, "Now Lord, please come with me to this rally in Kampala, because I want to bring blessing to lots of people." But the Lord said to him, "What about your wife? You must go back and apologise." He replied, "Lord, I'm late. I honestly haven't time, but I will apologise when I get back." So the Lord gave Festo a choice. He said, "You go to Kampala on your own, and I will stay with your wife. Or you go back and apologise to her." So he said to the driver, "I've forgotten something. We must go back." So back he went and apologised to her. And the Lord and he went on to the rally, and it was a great blessing. God's ministry. Sandy writes, "I encourage all our people to surrender what they call their ministry and receive His ministry. Because if you think of yourself as having a ministry, you'll get exhausted very quickly just by the thought of it." One of the most moving stories I ever heard John Wimber tell was when he was lying on a hotel room bed, sick and tired of life. He'd visited hundreds and hundreds of churches. He was a church growth expert. He'd studied them all very carefully. He'd written them all up. He'd sent notes to them about pastors and ministers and about what they ought to do. And he was lying, discouraged and worn out on his hotel bed. And he suddenly heard the Lord speak to him. And what the Lord said to him was, "John, I have seen your ministry, and now I'm going to show you mine." And something in his heart thought, "Yes, Lord, that's much better."